Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Last week I posted this photo over on my Instagram stories. I was getting ready to go out. I'd had my hair cut and coloured that day, so I was really feeling myself. And one of my followers asked if I could film a tutorial for the look. Around the same time, I also had a comment on one of my YouTube videos asking if I could do a video about my everyday makeup and if I could talk about things like my favourite foundation. I actually thought it would be a nice occasion to do a video kind of mixing those two ideas together. So showing you that makeup look, what I do when I actually go out, what my steps are for getting glam, and talk about some of my favorite products. I'm actually getting ready to go out for dinner again tonight, so this is gonna be my real life getting ready process. So if this is your first time here on the channel and you like what you see, then do make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And without further ado, let's jump in to my real life getting glam routine. Alright, so my getting ready process for going out normally starts about 2 or 3 days before, and the first thing that it involves is fake tan. I never used to fake tan. I'm really pale, so I was always really scared of it. I think I just remember the early 2000s when everyone was just orange, but I started using gradual self tanners a couple of years ago because I just looked a bit sickly sometimes compared to other people. So the tan that I've now been using for a couple of summers is the Dove Derma Spa Summer Revived. I think I found out about this one because whenever someone asks for a gradual self tanner online, there's always loads and loads of people who will comment this one, and I do really enjoy it. I started off by using the lighter one of the two, but now I do use the medium to dark, just because if I use the lighter one, I don't look sickly, which is what we want, but I don't actually look like I have a tan, whereas when I use this one, I do actually look like I've been on holiday. So when it comes to the actual process, what I normally do is about 3 days before going out, I'd say 2 to 3 days before, I like to go in with a scrub. Any scrub. I'm really not picky, it's just whatever I've got at the time. Have a really good exfoliation session. At that 2-day before point usually, that's when I will go on with a first layer of this self tanner, and then normally the next day I will then go in with a second layer of this. 2 layers is plenty for me. It really does give me a nice tan. Does it go patchy? Sometimes it does, but I feel like that's me messing up the application more than anything. And I find that as long as I'm working carefully with this one, as long as I'm, actually paying attention to what I'm doing, normally this doesn't go patchy. So that is it for body care. We're gonna move into skincare, and I do have another step that I like to do pre-getting ready, and that is a good clay mask. This morning, while I was doing my skincare routine, I used this one, which is by Alia Skin. Originally, I was sent this mask in PR, and I did end up doing a review of it, which I will link up in the cards for you guys if you are interested. But this particular part, I actually ended up repurchasing with my own money. I just like a clay mask to get rid of any congestion, particularly around my nose area. I have actually almost run out of this one, and I think I want to try something else. If you guys have got any suggestions for your favorite clay mask, then do leave them down in the comments below, because I want to try something new. So I did the clay mask this morning along with the rest of my skincare routine, so all of my serums and my SPF. And then when it comes to actually getting ready, I like to start fresh and start with a clean face. So depending on what I've done that day, I might just use a micellar water. If I haven't got any SPF on, I've just stayed in all morning, I've not really done anything, I might just use that. Today I used the Estee Lauder Perfectly Clean. I did get this one through my work. I really like the way it feels as I'm washing the face. I do feel like maybe it's a little bit too stripping for me. It is for normal to combination skin. Right now, I've obviously been sat here talking. I haven't done any other skincare, so I can feel that my skin does really need to drink up some moisturizer. Before we do that, there is just one more step that we need to cover in my prep, and we are going to talk facial hair. I don't actually shave my whole face just because I have acne. I do need it like in this general mouth area and also on my neck. We do have the odd pretty dark hair that is just trying to get out there. Before the shaving, I am going to do a little bit of tweezing on the worst offenders. Oh. Right, let's get this over and done quickly because the tweezing part is painful. So I just kind of tweeze the longest hairs, the darkest hairs that I can see, so that they don't grow back quite as fast. Once I'm done with the tweezing side of things, I'm then gonna go in with my eyebrow razor. This is one from Superdrug. This is gonna be a bit hard while talking. I am going to shave the rest off. I definitely have a few lumps and bumps on the chin right now, so I'm trying to be quite careful around them. I think that's the worst of it. And then I'm gonna go down all the way into the neck and down on the jawline. I can't wait to see what I look like when I'm editing this footage. And then I'm also gonna go under my lip. And then I'm also gonna do my top lip. Now I know a lot of people don't like to shave that area. I feel like it tends to be people with darker hair because of the way it grows back. I think because I do have blonde hair naturally, it really doesn't bother me. It's really not a problem for me, so I'm quite happy, again, just to shave that. And don't forget that shaving your face is a form of exfoliation, so you should probably try and avoid using any acids on your face on the same day as you're using this. All right, we are done with that very, very intimate moment. So we're actually gonna move on into some skincare because right now my skin, as I said, is just feeling very, very thirsty. I am gonna start off with my hyaluronic acid serum, and the one that I use at the moment is from Q&A. I have gone through so many bottles of this already. This is my fourth one, maybe, I don't even know, but it's pretty affordable. It's sold in Holland and Barrett, and they sometimes have it on like a buy one get one half price, I want to say. And yeah, I've just been really liking this one for an extra boost of hydration. So yeah, just popping that all over. I've also just realized that I've forgotten to tweeze my eyebrows, so I'm just gonna grab any stray hairs that I've got. Just literally get rid of those straggly hairs. Just like that. Next up is eye cream, and I feel like I haven't spoken about eye cream on my channel for ages. Recently, I have been using the Yes To Avocado Fragrance-Free Daily Eye Cream. I got this one back in, I want to say spring, but I was using a very, very heavy eye cream and I wanted something a bit lighter. And this one is definitely like more lightweight, still maybe a little bit heavy for what I would have wanted in the summer. Now that we're in that slightly colder mid-season, I think it's going to be perfect. And then for winter, I will definitely go back to something a lot heavier because my eyelids do get pretty dry. Then we've got moisturizer, and I'm going to use the Clinique Moisture Surge, and this is probably my favorite moisturizer at this point. I do work for the brand, so it is a product that I can buy through them for a discount, but I do really, really love it. I take quite a generous amount. It is like a drink of water for my skin. I love the texture, really lightweight. I will be buying this one for a while. The last thing I'm gonna do in terms of skincare prep is pop on my lip balm, and I'm gonna use this one by Revolution Pro. I have forgotten the name. It's the SPF 15 lip balm. I did mention this one in a video previously. I really like the texture of this one. I think it is a really nice lip balm. It's great for preparing to makeup. The only problem for me is the price and how much product you're getting. I kind of also want to repurchase it when I finish, but I would definitely only do it when it's on offer, and it would have to be like a good offer. All right, so we are done with the skincare prep right now. As I said, I do want to let this sink in a little bit longer. So I'm just going to go away for a couple of minutes, just get my makeup sponge ready, and then we'll jump into the makeup. All right, so I've just given that a few minutes to sink into the skin so that we can jump into the makeup. I'm going to start by going in with the Too Faced Hangover Primer. There is definitely a time and a place for me to use this primer. I think it feels absolutely amazing on the skin, but when I've used it in summer and combined it with their setting spray, I have definitely looked oily really, really quickly. I think I would avoid using it in the middle of summer now. Like just now, because it's cooling down, I feel like my skin needs it. I'm also going to go in with a second primer, and this is one that you guys have heard me mention on this channel before. It is the W7 Miracle Matte Elixir. This is now my second bottle, and I really, really like it. I just take... let's do 3 drops. I really, really don't need any more than that. And that just goes on the oily areas. And it does have a really nice smoothing effect on the pores. So literally nose, this area on the cheeks, kind of bringing it over here and on the forehead. And that's it. I don't use any more than that. 3 drops is literally enough. I actually just almost went straight into my foundation without doing the next step, which happens to me a lot more often than I would like to admit. And that is gonna be brows. If you've been on my channel channel over the past few months, then you will know that me and my brows, we've been going through a thing. We've tried a lot of products. I have recently started using the Pink Honey Wonder Wax. You guys know that so far the Pink Honey, the original one where you add water, that has been the best product to keep my brows in place, give them that proper stuck down laminated effect. It's literally the same concept as the other one. You've got the hole in the middle of the pot. You just don't need to add any water. I'm gonna take my Anastasia number 12 brush and literally stick it in the middle and swirl it around. I'm still on the fence about this product, by the way. I haven't decided yet if I love it or not. I find it easier to use than the original. It definitely sticks the brow hairs down faster, and also it's definitely a lot better than the experience that I had with the P. Louise one. It's really weird. I seem to have days where it works really well for me and others where it just doesn't last. Like, I've tested it to go to work, and on some days they just haven't stayed in place. It's just a lot quicker than the original one, but I feel like I need to give you a final verdict on it, and I'm not quite there yet. Do let me know though if you want a video comparing the two, and I will do it, and we can do a wear test and see how they both look at the end of the day. All right, well, they feel pretty secure. I did go in with quite a bit more product than I normally would, and that does mean that I have like a lot of residue right now on my brow. I don't know how anyone does the eyebrow styling part of their makeup after they've got their foundation on, because if I try, I literally just ruin my foundation. I'm literally just gonna take some micellar water on a reusable cotton pad, and I'm just gonna clean up the area around. They seem to be staying in place right now, but I've just had days where I couldn't get it to work. Cool, so now that that is done, we can move on to the foundation, and obviously where I've got the fake tan, I'm quite a bit darker here than I am on my face, so we need a foundation that is too dark for me on a normal day and something with a really good amount of coverage, and that is gonna be the W7 Very Vegan Perfectly Matte Foundation. This is the shade Buff, which is the lighter shade, but it only has 5 shades. It's way too dark for me. I really hope they make some lighter shades at some point, because I do really love this foundation. I'm gonna start off with just a couple of pumps, and we're gonna pop that on. I did a full review on this foundation and the concealer that goes with it, and it definitely is a firm favorite. I mean, look at the coverage. It's really good. I am gonna go in with concealer today, just because, as I said, you know, I've had a hormonal breakout. I need a little bit more, but if I was to wear this on an everyday basis, I really wouldn't bother. I'm just doing another pump for my forehead, and the finish is gorgeous, and it really does just give me the same vibes as the NARS Naturally Radiant. I am now going to go in with some more. My jawline definitely needs some more work, and I'm gonna bring it in to my neck as well. Make sure the foundation blends into the fake tan and also covers up any acne that I might have on my neck. As I said, this foundation has got really good coverage, so I wouldn't always feel the need to spot conceal with it. But today, because I did have that hormonal breakout, there's just a couple of places where spots are still kind of popping through. So I'm gonna go in with my Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. This is the shade Porcelain, and this has got to be my favorite concealer for spot concealing. I don't use it for my under eyes because I can't get it to work. I think it's just like a bit too creamy, but for spot concealing, incredible. The coverage is so lovely. It blends into pretty much any of my foundations. Definitely a favorite. If you have got the time, I would recommend just letting this one sit for like a minute or two. If you blend this one out too quickly, which I think is what I used to do, it will just spread out forever. Like, you could do your whole face with very little concealer rather than having a thin layer of it all over my face. I would rather keep it a little bit thicker and really focus on concealing those spots. It just does a great job. We're gonna go into another concealer next. We are gonna use a lot of concealer right now. We are being extra. This is my Getting Glam routine. And the second concealer we're gonna use is the Collection Lasting Perfection, and this is the shade Cashew. I was gonna say I recently tried this on camera, but I think that video might be like 2 months old at this point, so it's not so recent. But yeah, this was like a cult classic a few years ago, and I had never tried it up until August. Now, I don't recommend leaving this one to sit around and dry down for ages because it's more of a matte finish. So if you leave it too long, and it too long isn't even that long, it will dry down too much and then it's really hard to blend. So I don't recommend that with this one. I really should have started by blending that out because it's already struggling a little bit, and it's been like, what, a minute? It's really not been that long. And then we're gonna do the under eye as well. So I'm gonna get right into that inner corner, right on where I am the darkest. And then I'm gonna go here as well. So that is my highlight point where the light is gonna hit my face. And again, I am gonna blend. So I'm blending this one diagonally, again, where my highlighter is gonna sit. And then with this one, that's gonna go on the under eye area. I definitely use a lot more concealer than I used to on my under eyes, which I feel is a little bit counterintuitive because I'm getting older. But before, I didn't really have a good routine for setting my concealer. So no matter what concealer I would use, it would never look very good. So I would use a very small amount of it and you could still see so much darkness. I actually wasn't concealing enough. Now that I have found a really nice routine for setting my concealer, I'm quite happy to use more product. I'm gonna go in with another one now, and this is gonna be the W7 Very Vegan Concealer, and this is the shade Fair, which is the lightest one. And actually, that's way too much. I don't know why I've used that much. What I've started doing lately is just giving myself some extra highlight. So you can see I'm using a lot less than I did with the first concealer, and I'm really keeping it to the center of where I highlighted. Now this one is a lot more creamy, so it's gonna spread out a lot more. And I've just been finding that this helps give me that more highlighted look. I might just switch to a brush. The sponge I'm using, by the way, I realize I haven't said it, it's the Beauty Bay microfiber sponge. I've been using it for a while now. I've gone through so many, I really, really like them. And now I'm just using the Peaches and Cream PC13 just to help me keep that nicely concentrated right in the middle and not go out too far with it. And now we're gonna do the same thing with the under eye. I'm not gonna be adding any to the highlight points because I don't want the outside of my face to be too highlighted. I've just still got some darkness there. It's pretty concealed, but I wanna brighten that up even more. So again, literally one dot, no more than that, and I'm gonna blend. And there you go, that's just immediately so much brighter. I just feel like that darkness is now really concealed. I've really been enjoying this technique lately. I feel like it really does give me the right amount of highlighting, but not too much, and it really does conceal everything that I need it to. I'm gonna leave the concealer here before actually setting it. I'm gonna move into some more cream products. I really wanted to use my W7 contour stick in Fair again. I was really, really impressed in the video where I tested it. I just think this is a really, really nice shade for me. Really, really lovely and cool toned, and it blended out really well. So hopefully it does that again today. I'm gonna take this flat brush from Iconic London. Is that what I used last time? I couldn't tell you, but we're just gonna blend. I haven't been bothering with contouring like for every day. I normally actually would, but it's mostly because we're wearing masks at the moment. I still bronze, but I'm like, literally no one can see any of my contour, like why bother? Yeah, that does blend in really, really well. Almost feel like the color might be like a little bit too cool toned right now maybe, just because of the shade of foundation that I've got on. We're just gonna go under the lips as well, and then a little bit of nose contouring. I'm gonna try not to go too over the top with how much product I use here, because in the video where I tested this out I used loads, and I've not even made this even, so we're doing great. I'm gonna blend out with my Morphe E62. I love contouring under my bottom lip. Like, I feel like it gives it so much more shape, instantly makes it look a bit plumper, just boosts your lips, makes them look a bit fuller. Yeah, definitely don't quite have the hang of nose contouring, but that's fine. I'm just gonna go back in with my sponge. And then the last cream product that I like to use before going in with my powder is a cream blush, and I think it will come as no surprise that we will be using the GRWM Fresh Face Cheek and Lip Tint. I've been enjoying something quite nude for my blush at the moment, so we're going to use the shade Caramel Kisses. I believe this is one of the ones that I bought myself after trying some of the other shades in PR. I really like these. I think the pigmentation on them is really lovely. I use them with my PC19 from Peaches and Cream. I will say I haven't tried that many cream blushes. If I had had more time over the summer to film more content for you guys, I probably would have tried some more, but as a really affordable option, I think they're really nice. Bring it around the temple. I'm just keeping it more at the back of the cheekbone just to again help give that raised up look. So I'm now gonna powder and set that all in place. And again, just like the concealer, I'm gonna go in with quite a few different powders. I'm gonna be a little bit extra. The first one that I'm gonna use is the Revolution Eye Bright Setting Powder. I actually have a new one coming today. It's gonna be my third one. This is a product that I've spoken about quite a few times on my channel already. I really like it. It has just been the best powder for setting my under eyes. I'm just going to start by taking my Morphe M330, which is a brush that you guys have heard me mention a lot on my channel, and I am just going to blend out the under eye. I feel like a sponge. I can't always really get in the creases. You want to get those creases out before powdering. You don't want to set those creases in place, and with a sponge, I really struggle to get right in there and get rid of all these creases. So I like to go in with a brush first, and then I'm gonna dip it into the powder, or what's left of it, and I take a good amount of it and I'm gonna set the whole under eye area. Okay, maybe that was a little bit too much on this eye. I do have to say I haven't tested this one for flashback, but I use it every day and I really like it. What I'm also gonna do once I've done the under eyes is also go right in those areas where I used that lightest concealer. So we're gonna do the center of the highlighting, down the center of the nose, on the lips, and then the chin. That's powder number one. We're gonna move on to powder number two and powder number three. You guys know my love for the MAC Mineralize Skin Finish. I'm gonna grab my PC04. The Peaches and Cream brushes are probably some of my favorite face brushes. They're really good, and they are excellent value for money. I'm taking the shade Light, and now I'm gonna go just on the more general concealing area. So I'm just going over the top of that first powder. We're gonna make sure that that area down the center of the face where we've concealed is gonna stay brighter. And then once that's done, I'm gonna go into the shade Light Plus, same brush, and that's gonna be the rest of the face. I feel like I need to give you guys a quick update on the L'Oreal powder that I tested in that drugstore video. It's not too much. The infallible one, the one that goes with the foundation. That powder was such a big fail for me. I mean, first of all, it's broken. I don't know how. This powder hasn't left the house. It hasn't left my drawer, but for some reason it broke. It darkened every foundation that I wore it with, even foundations that were like already darker that I thought would match the powder. They just looked orange with that powder over it. And that is the lightest shade of that powder. It doesn't come any lighter. And it never looked nice. It never lasted well throughout the day, so that powder was a fail for me. All right, so that is enough powder now. We've done quite a bit, although I do have to say, I don't feel like I look that powdery. That's why I do really like that powder, because I don't feel like I'm like really caked up. It's quite a lightweight thing. Words are not coming out of my mouth properly right now, so we're just gonna stop. But I do like to set everything in place at this stage because it is just gonna take away any excess powderiness that we might have. And I'm gonna take the XX Quick Fix. This is from XX Revolution. It's the only product that I've tried from them so far. It is their mattifying setting spray. So I'm just gonna pop that on. One of the things that I really like about that setting spray, a big plus for me, is that the mister is really fine. I think for me the thing is with setting sprays, you know, if I use a glowy setting spray, I can tell that I'm glowy. Like I can tell that it's added glow back to my face. Whereas a mattifying one, I just don't know if they actually work for me. Like I can't tell if they actually do mattify me and keep me more matte. Yeah, it feels nice. I just don't know if mattifying setting sprays ever do anything for me. I really don't know. All right, so bronzer next. If I had to mention a favorite, I think this will come at no surprise at this point that it is this one from Revolution. It is Holiday Romance. I love it. I've used it so much on my channel. Perfect color for me when I haven't got any fake tan on, but because I do have fake tan, I'm gonna go for something a little bit darker. And I do want to use this one again that I also tested in that same drugstore video. This is the Island Heatwave bronzer. So I'm going to grab one of my favorite brushes for that, which is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH06. 100% influenced by Make Me Up Mister here. I now own 4 of these because Morphe was selling them for £4 instead of 14, so obviously I wasn't gonna miss out, and it's such a good bronzer brush. So I'm gonna go into the bronzer. Now I really like the way that this bronzer looked in that video, but I do find that it is really easy to go overboard with it. Just be a little bit careful with it. Definitely tap off your excess and don't layer it on too much. I do think it is a really, really nice color for me, but I can see how things can go wrong with it. It's not the easiest bronzer to use, if that makes sense. Like, it can just go really wrong really quickly if you're not careful. And then I'm going to take some more and I'm going to go over the nose area. See, I feel like there I went in a bit too heavily, definitely. So I'm just going to take my sponge. I'm going to tone it down a little bit, and actually then just a little bit more here. And then I'm going to take my PC15 from Peaches and Cream and my Revolution and Patricia Bright contour kit. This is one that you guys have seen on my channel a lot, and I'm going to deepen up the contour. This has just been a firm favorite of mine for a while now. I keep talking about wanting to try something new, but I just still haven't. I used to love the NYX blush in Taupe. This is going back years ago. I need to get my hands on that. I need to order it. I want to see if it's still a good contour shade for me, so that is definitely on my wish list. That's gonna happen at some point. I'm just gonna take the E62 again as well, and again we're gonna go under the lips and then just do a bit more on the nose. Again, I'm just taking my sponge and we're gonna bring it in here. Alright, I'm gonna leave my base here. I know that some people like to have everything done before they move on to the eyes. I don't know, for me, I need to have the eyes done before I finish off the blush and the highlighter. Like, I feel like it just works better for me. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in and we're gonna move on to the eyes. Alright, so first things first, before we get into any eyeshadow, we need to start by priming the eyelid. If you wear eyeshadow without any primer and you wonder why your colors aren't popping or lasting or anything like that, it's because you're not wearing any primer. If I was doing something really colourful, a cut crease, something like that, I would use my P. Louise base. But for something more neutral, I just do things a little bit differently. And I'm gonna be using kind of a cult classic product. You can't get your hands on this one easily anymore. I think you can get it on Amazon though. And that is the Maybelline Colour Tattoo in the shade Creme de Rose. This was so big a few years ago because it was a dupe for the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. And I have gotten a lot of use out of it this year, and I have to say it's still a good product. It works really, really well for me. I get very minimal creasing with it. I'm just using, I just use any old concealer brush, I would say, with it. I'm just going over the whole eyelid, just creating a canvas. And when it comes to my glam makeup, there's only one palette that I keep using over and over again, and it is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. I know it is expensive. It's one of the few palettes that I have actually hit pan on because I really, really like the way that this one performs. The shimmers definitely over the matte shades. The matte shades, they're okay, but the shimmers are really, really lovely. So whenever I want to go for something super glamorous, that's the palette that I go for. It is an expensive one though, so if you can't afford it, W7 do have a dupe. Again, I have a video comparing the two. So if you want the shades, but you don't want to spend all that money on it, you can go down to B&M, you can get the W7 Total Eclipse palette. There is a solution for everyone. So I'm just gonna grab a Morphe M441 and I'm gonna go into the shade Karma. And I really do keep things, again, really simple when it comes to my glam makeup these days. I'm literally just gonna run this through the crease. I'm just gonna take the same shade on a Morphe M456 and I'm gonna come underneath as well. And then I'm just gonna keep the same brush and I'm gonna go into Utopia up here and I'm gonna blend. The matte shades that I use do just kind of depend on the mood that I'm in. Sometimes I want something a bit more cool toned. Sometimes I want something a bit warmer. I'm gonna take that underneath again. One tip that really helped me with doing my eye makeup, and I think I've shared it with you guys before, is to follow the shape of my brow around. So instead of just following my crease at the end and just going downwards here, instead following the brow and just being a little bit higher. It's just a great tip. Really do like it. I'm actually gonna take another M441 and I'm gonna go into Momentum here and I'm gonna go around the top of the shadow, just around the edge, and that's just gonna finish blending that out. Just really going for something really soft here. No harsh edges. Just really soft blending. Just gonna go back into some of Karma now, deepen that up a little bit, but I'm not using a dark color, I'm keeping it pretty light. Just sweep that through the crease again. And then some more of Utopia as well. Just the same on the lower lash line. And then blending out with Momentum. You can also blend out the shades with your face powder. Sometimes that's what I like to do as well if I'm using a palette that doesn't have a shade that matches my skin tone. It's just gonna help really soften it into the rest of your makeup. I'm gonna move on to the lid now, and the first thing that I like to do is use a glitter glue to really intensify the shades in this palette. And the one that I really like is the NYX Glitter Primer. This has been just lasting me for so long. I can't actually believe that it's still going. I'm just gonna take some on a flat brush and just literally place it all over the lid. Then I'm gonna grab a Morphe M433. I have forgotten which shade I used last time, but I think it was probably Galaxy. You can see I've really hit pan in that one. So I'm just gonna pick it up. Actually thinking about it now, that's probably not the shade I used last time, but that's fine. So I think I'm just gonna go halfway with it. There we go, like that. And then I'm just gonna use the same brush, and this time I'm gonna go into Supernova, and that's gonna go on the rest of the lid. In fact, I'm just gonna bring it over here, blend the two in together. I'm gonna take a bit more of Galaxy. This is the part where I do get some fallout, but that is the risk when using some more glittery shades. But I really don't mind because look at how pretty these are. I'm gonna take some more of Supernova. This is why I've hit pan on these shades, because they are stunning. That's what I love about this palette. It's just so easy to create really simple but really effective looks. And for the price of the palette, that is how it should be. Just a little bit of glitter glue, layer on a couple of colors, and done. I'm just gonna take a clean Morphe M433 and I'm just gonna take a little bit of Hot Mess, just right on the outside, just to deepen it up. And then I'm gonna run it through a little bit. And then I'm gonna take some more of Karma with my big fluffy brush and blend. And then I'm just gonna take that M456 that I used before. I'm gonna go back into Galaxy, and I am just gonna take it on the inside of the lower lash line as well, just to brighten it up a bit. And then the last shade that I'm gonna take is Supermoon, which is absolutely gorgeous. This one is very creamy, very flaky, so it's not the easiest one to use, but I'm gonna take a Morphe M431, which is a nice little pencil brush, and it's gonna go on the inner corner. I'm just gonna go in with tons of it. I really wanna brighten that up. Also gonna pop some on the brow bone. And that is it for the eyeshadow. I am gonna do my waterline. And one liner that I've really been liking for my waterline lately is the Intense Colour Lip Liner in Fantasy by MUA. And yes, it is a lip liner, so be careful with it. They're not technically meant to be used on the eye. I never have any issues with them, but just do be extra careful. It's almost like my skin tone, I would say. And I just think it finishes off an eye look really nicely when I don't want to go for anything smoky. I just want the eyes to appear wide and bright, but white can be too stark sometimes. So something that is closer to your skin tone, do you see the difference that that's made? That's just immediately opened them up a little bit more. If I wanted to go a bit more smoky, I'd go with a burgundy or a brown, but I am really liking this at the moment. I am gonna curl my lashes. This is just a cheap pair of curlers. They're either Superdrug or Primark. And the mascara that I'm using at the moment is the Clinique Chubby Lash Mascara. Again, I did get this one at a discount through my work. I had just never tried it before and wanted to try a new mascara, and I'm really enjoying it. Gives me lots of volume, lots of length. I'm going to do the lower lash line as well. Am I even in frame? I can't tell. Cool, so that is it for the eyes. Let me zoom you out and let's finish off the rest of the face. All right, so let's do the blush next. And I am just gonna show you a few of my favorite blushes, like the ones that I would say I wear the most often. If we're going more for a peachy vibe, which I would say I do like right in the middle of summer when it's the warmest, I do really like the L'Oreal Life's a Peach. It's a really nice color. I've also been wearing it a lot for work lately. If I want a really nice cool toned pink, which I don't really tend to at this time of year, it's definitely more of a winter thing for me. I love the Anasui or Anasui, I'm not entirely sure how you say it. This is the black powder blush and the shade is 302, so you can see very cool toned. This used to be on Beauty Bay and it's not anymore, and it's really annoying because I really wanted to go back for more, but I think it's literally only on Beautylish, which is really annoying. But the one that we're going to be using today should still be on Beauty Bay as far as I'm aware, and it's a really nice affordable option, and that is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Blush in the shade Nudist Society. This is like a terracotta brown shade, so it's what I wear when I want something really nude, and it does have a gold shimmer to it, but it's not too much like some other blushes I've tried recently. So we're gonna go with that today, and I'm gonna use a nice big fluffy brush. This is from my iconic London brush set, and yeah, I'm just literally gonna pack it on. Not much else to say. Pop some on the nose as well, but yeah, really easy to use. I have no blending issues with it. Really like it. What highlighter should I use? I'm not entirely sure. I might use my Soph highlighter palette. I feel like a lot of the highlighters that I have are quite cool tones, so they don't sit really well when I've got my fake tan shade of foundation on, but I think this should be quite nice today. I'm gonna take this brush from the W7 Tokyo brush collection, and we're gonna try and go a bit warmer. So should I use the gold? I never really use the gold. Yeah, I'm gonna mix the gold in with this one. This could be a terrible idea. No, I think it was a good idea. I'm just going to take a Zoeva 231 and I'm just going to mix in the two shades together again, and we're just going to highlight the nose. Oh, okay, that is intense. And the lips. It is now time to finish up my brows, and I have actually been switching things up a little bit lately. This is very new to me. I've just been experimenting. You guys know that I love my NYX Lift and Snatch, the brow pen. It's great. It's what I use for all of my looks on YouTube and Instagram. But in real life, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I feel like it's just not, I don't know, it just doesn't quite do it for me in real life. So I have actually just started using my Dip Brow pomade by Anastasia again. This is the shade Blonde, and I picked up the Wonder Wand from Pink Honey, and it's a good eyebrow brush. It's really sharp and precise. I just get rid of the excess product in the lid. I try and draw hairs on. Now I will say this is definitely not as easy with pomade as with a brow pen. I don't know how some people get really precise with it, but I'm kind of just filling the gaps in. I do go back in for extra product quite a lot because I find that otherwise you lose the precision, and then I really try and avoid getting too much product on right at the front of the brows. Now I know I just said a second ago that I like doing this at the moment because it's a little bit more natural. It's not too overly defined like when I use the brow pen. I do almost find that it's like not defined enough. So I do then also go in with the NYX Lift and Snatch. This is the shade Taupe, and that is dripping. Let me grab a tissue. I do store these upside down, and yeah, sometimes there's just excess that drips. Again, I'm not gonna use this as much as I normally would, but I like to add some definition on the end. Just drawing a few hairs in. I don't feel like the front needs it as much. It's more this sort of half. I have got so much ink on my hand now, this gets everywhere. I really like the way that the brows are looking. The only thing that I will say is this is very cool toned right now. It might be because right now I don't have any roots showing. Like I would say that this probably matches my roots quite well, but it just feels a little bit too cool toned. I wouldn't mind something a bit warmer, but that's fine. We're fine. All right, so when it comes to lashes, I don't necessarily always wear them when getting glam. It depends what we're doing. If I'm the one driving, I have to wear my glasses, so I cannot wear eyelashes with my glasses. It just gets in the way. But I think tonight we're probably not driving. We're probably just gonna take the bus. So I'm gonna wear some lashes. And no surprise here, we are gonna be using some from By Libby Beauty. You guys know that these are my favorites. Their pairs start at £3. I think they look great for the price. They don't look cheap at all. And I always buy them in the tray of 5 like this. I think it ends up costing £11–12. Like, you do have a nice little saving there. I'm gonna go for the Style Alex over here. They're the ones in the middle. They're just a little bit more wearable, still wispy, but like not too extra. The glue that I use is the Quick Set from Duo. Yeah, I mean, it's lash glue and it works for me. I don't really have anything else to say. I just put the lash glue on both of them, and then I'm just gonna grab the fan again, and I'm just gonna help that glue dry along a little bit, get it tacky a little bit quicker, and then we're just gonna go straight on. I've just stuck that one on the wrong eye, haven't I? I thought things looked a little bit weird. I would say that using the fan to help the glue dry down a little bit faster has been one of the things that has helped me the most. Like, it just makes my life so much easier. And that is it for the lashes. They're really not over the top. They just add like a tiny bit of length, a tiny bit of volume, and they're really cute. So that just leaves the lips. I have to admit that when it comes to lips, I've gotten a little bit lazy, and that is definitely because of mask wearing. So last week we took the bus into town, we went to the restaurant, and I hadn't put my lipstick on because I didn't want the mask to ruin it, and I didn't realize until we'd been there for maybe like at least half an hour, maybe even an hour, that I was just sat there with no lipstick on. So yeah, I just forget. Anyway, today I'm not gonna forget because we're doing it on camera, and I wanna go for something nice and long lasting. If we do take the bus, it's only gonna be a short bus journey, so I think I should be okay. I don't want anything that's gonna move around too much, so I am gonna go for a matte liquid lipstick, and I'm gonna use this one from MUA, which is the shade Tranquility. Let's pop this on. Actually, this might be a little bit too warm for this look. Do I want to change? Okay, this definitely isn't the shade that I wanted, but I'm having one of those moments where I can't find the shade of lipstick that I wanted. So instead I'm gonna go with Carefree. And then I'm gonna do another spritz of the XX Revolution Quick Fix. That is it, we are done with the makeup, so let me just go and wash off all of this NYX brow pen that I have on my fingers. I'm also gonna go and sort out my hair, and then I'll be right back. All right guys, here we go. Here is the finished look with the finished hair. I hope as always that you like it. A little bit different from the usual content, definitely a lot more toned down, but I really hope that you enjoyed, you know, getting some more in-depth thoughts on some products. I am a little bit worried about how long this video is going to be. I already know it's going to take me ages to edit. What time is it? Oh god, yeah, I have been filming for maybe 3 hours at this point, so this is definitely going to be a long one to edit, and I don't know when I'm gonna have the time to edit it. But as always, I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. I hope it was insightful. I hope it gave you some little tips and tricks, and if you've got any tips and tricks for getting glam, some favorite products, definitely leave them down in the comments. You guys know I always love trying new stuff. Anyway guys, that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, then do make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, then do please hit the subscribe button button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye guys!